Evelyn is way more serious than I am, for sure. I am a old child, I would say. No, Evelyn is so stoic. One, she's a mother. She's a divorcee. She has clearly overcame some emotional and probably, tumultuous situations and things of that nature. So she has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. And yeah, I think that she's one of those people. Any therapists or psychiatrists that I know are typically survivors of some sort of trauma of some sort. And that's why they find an interest in that type of profession, because they want to help people who've had experiences similar to them. So I'm thinking, my backstory for Evelyn is if you ascend to being a prison psychiatrist, you're pretty passionate about helping folk who need the help. So yeah, that's not me. No, I'm joking. No, but yeah, there are some similarities and differences in that regard. So, coming from comedy and doing stand-up comedy, like, it made me be still for the most part. Like, it stretched me in terms of the dialogue as well. There were days, I remember on the last day, Luc had Caleb and I do the entire day's dialogue in one take. And that was cool. I don't know if he expected us to do it, but we did. And afterwards, he was so impressed. He was like, wow, okay, well, let's move in. Let's do some tighter shots. Let's do it. And I was like, thank God I studied my lines in entirety instead of, breaking it down into scenes, But other than that, Luc is such an incredible director. When we were on set, we met before set to discuss the scenes and, what the characters were feeling. And then on set, he would give us direction and things of that nature. And he knows literally all the positions on set, from camera to lights to like acting and everything. So he would let us do our thing and then give us a little direction, and then it took it from there. So if you can follow direction, it was pretty simple. Oh, that's so funny you asked that, because the first day I got there, I just wanted to walk around my hotel and explore. And even though I said I'm just going to go straight, I'm not going to make any lefts, no rights, no turns, I still got lost somehow. And my phone died. And so I had to ask these random girls if they could help me get back to my hotel. And we walked and we were talking. And at the end, they were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm here to do this project with Luc Besson. And of course, I knew who he was, but their reaction, they were like, Luc Besson? I was like, yeah. They were like, oh my God. And it was just, they were lawyers, they're not in the industry. They're not actor. Of course, here in LA, if you say his name, people recognize it. But to be talking to two random strangers in Paris who are lawyers who were in their mid-20s who knew exactly who he's like the Steven Spielberg of Paris, clearly, because that was the first moment I got nervous, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I know what he's done, but seeing their reaction to me working with him made me a little more on guard about making sure I was on my P's and Q's. Yeah, like growing up, I lived with my great-grandparents, so we didn't go to the theater often because we're from the country. But my dad, anytime I would visit him, he would take us to Blockbuster. We would get Chinese food, and I viscerally remember going to Blockbuster, getting this tape, and watching it. And I thought it was a little strange, but it was captivating. I watched the entire thing from Chris Tucker to Bruce Willis, of course, came in with a bang. I mean, it just was action from the jump. And then the singing sequences with I wish I knew the actress's name, but the blue woman, the blue alien woman. Yeah, I mean, to keep a child's attention that long, I would say that it was a pretty amazing film. And yeah, we sat there and ate and watched it with my dad, and it was dope. I loved that film. I love Caleb. Caleb is so sweet and so cool. He was so welcoming when I got to set. Like, no ego, no, he's from Texas. So we're both Southerners, and it's just in our roots to be hospitable, I guess, because we actually met. Luc didn't want us to meet until we met in character on set in the scene. And so it's so crazy because I've never met a castmate this way ever, but we did the scene and then Luke was like, cut. And then it was like, hi, I'm Jojo. It was like, hi, I'm Caleb. And it was like, okay, well, I guess we'll talk after we finish shooting this scene. And yeah, afterwards we got to chat. He's into music. His partner's mad cool. Like, Caleb, A1 castmate for sure. Wow. So yes, I did. I was working at Cheesecake Factory at the same time as I was teaching 4th and 5th graders. So literally was going from teaching straight to the Cheesecake Factory, putting my little tie on the way there. I got sick of cheesecake. I won't lie. They had too many options. By the time I left, I was not eating any more cheesecake. I had too much access to it, I guess. But they have such a vast menu. I would say the original with strawberries. You gotta keep it, because the other ones are a little rich. They're a little decadent, that for me. I would say, I hate to say this, but honestly, I inspire myself, but I'm kind of pushed by people doubting me. I know I feel like I'm in therapy right now. Like, I'm like, you know,
Send you a bill.
I'm just like, am I about to tell you my secrets?
Yes, you are. Go ahead. I'm safe with you. It's okay.
No, seriously. I think that's what pushed me. I've had so many jobs, and I know what I don't want to do, right? So what pushed me into continuing to what I thought that I wanted, or, I'm like, I think I want to be an actress. This has been on my mind since I was a child. I have to pursue it. And knowing that I've had 21 other jobs, I know I don't want to do any of what's behind me. So, yeah, knowing what's behind me kept pushing me forward, I would say.
Love that.
For sure.
Love that.
Yeah. Kirsten and Wagner were incredible on set. Like, first of all, I am, bring it on, of course, but I didn't even bring that up to her. I was like, it took everything in me not to say, I loved you and bring it on, because I'm sure she has heard that 1,000 times, but she was so sweet on set. And Wagner, watching them perform and watching them go from, relax and then transforming into these characters, I learned a great deal. Also, Alex Garland, the director, he is just so magnificent and just like a force on set. And it was so interesting watching him and then going to work with Luc as well, because they're very different. Luc is very like organized, meticulous. He has a book, he has the plan, and it's like Alex, maybe because they were very different types of films as well. We were shooting action scenes and it was just like, Alex felt very spontaneous, which is also incredible. So to be able to work with both of those types of directors was amazing. And I think that Civil War will spark a conversation, especially with, we got elections coming up and it's a lot going on in the world right now. So, it's so many things that need to be discussed and hard conversations that need to be had. And yeah, it'll make us consider what the consequences of our actions may potentially be, and vice versa. So I think that these type of films need to be made because they start conversations, and we got to talk as a country and as a community.